For those who don't know, my name is Vendo Calendar, CEO of Project Pi. Have a background in computer science, and Chris and I built this business here at the Atlanta Blockchain Center. And just a little bit briefly about me. I was a data engineer at Intuit MailChimp doing Web2 infrastructure. Father's been into networking for about 30 years now. So, I actually grew up in the infrastructure world. And when I was actually working remote out of here, I texted Chris. I was like, hey, man, you should definitely pull up to the Atlanta Blockchain Center. At that time, he was working for a Web3 company called Go Plugin, based out in Dubai. And, I was doing Web2 infrastructure. He was seeing what I was doing on the terminal, doing Docker, Compose, doing the terminal stuff, creating infrastructure. And he was very, very curious to see what I was doing. Knowing us now, how we work, within 20 minutes, we actually conceptualized and created Project Pi this February 20th, 2023. And it's been a long journey, but I'll let Chris give his introduction as well.
Hey guys, I'm Chris Powell, CTO of Project Pi, and basically everything Van said is true. We met up at this building here, and we basically just executed. We just focused on our strengths and everything that we've done. Again, his background's in computer science and mine is in physics. So we just said, well, why don't we try to build something? Let's make something happen. So, we just put together our thoughts and, came up with Project Pi. The journey in itself started with hardware only. We did a lot of blockchain, like physical blockchain nodes. We started with a company called Presearch, in which, I had connections with the CEO at the time, Colin Pape. He actually ended up buying one of our Raspberry Pis, which is the reason why the company name is Project Pi. And, from there, we just evolved from Raspberry Pis to small AMD and Intel mini computers. We actually had an opportunity to meet quite a few of the PulseChain people when they came for the tour. It seemed like it was like just yesterday. I can't believe it was like 2 years ago, but they came up here, and then we ended up starting on our development of liquid staking. That was around like the middle or end of December 2023 when we first discussed it on the PulseChain cruise going to Cabo. Since then, we've been just putting our heads down, focused on building, staying on the grind, and just making things happen. We'll actually be showing a few little things here and there, but our protocol in itself has been live now for, I want to say, about almost 4.5 months or so, and so far so good. I'm really excited, and just seeing how we actually came from everything being on a test environment. I know we were in testnet for like 5 or 6 months, but during that time we had so many different things that we wanted to add on that we thought would be able to bring more value to the chain in itself. And there were things like the ERC-404 implementation on our collateral token, PPY, or Project Pi Yield. There is, from what I know of, there's no liquid staking protocol in the world where the actual, like, when you look at like companies like Rocket Pool or anything like that, they use a specific collateral token. They're ERC-404 based, or they're ERC-20 based. Ours is ERC-404 based. So, some of those changes or whatnot, it made it to where we had to take a little bit longer to just develop it, but it was worth it. And I'm just super grateful to have a amazing partner and, people to guide us. But you want to share everything?
Yeah. And again, since we're talking about infrastructure is very, very important. That's why we actually created it. So, like one things that we know that, about 43.7% of all Ethereum validators on AWS, we saw Binance, we saw Rabi Wallet, we saw all these protocols where they're validators, or not necessarily validators, but the infrastructure is going down, and that's not good. So that's why when Chris and I came with the PulseChain, we are tinkers at heart and we like to solve problems. So at that time when we were on PulseChain, we're like, okay, what's missing on here? I know at that time some people were looking to building out liquid staking, but there was no liquid staking. And us being an infrastructure company first, we're like, well, we already have infrastructure. We've already done RPCs. We already support plethora of chains. Let's actually hyper focus on one specific chain. And that was PulseChain. And building it out, we saw so much stuff, and we're going to go over that in the analytics. We had our early staking program back in February. It was a 90-day period where if you had Pulse, and we didn't do a sacrifice, like, look, if you guys want this built out, stake your Pulse, be rewarded our token, PPY, Project Pi yield. And by doing that, within the first, like a day, we had a day and a half, we had over 100K of Pulse locked up in TVL, which was amazing. That was before we went to the PulseChain conference in Vegas, the first one where they had the, was by the PulseChain Foundation and the PulseChain Tour. We basically pitched against, 5 or 6 different companies. We actually ended up winning that, which is awesome. Met Max here at the very first time, super cool dude. And, at that time, we've grew so much, from going from ideation from ERC 404 to doing that to now we're actually integrating AI into our protocols as an AI-based DeFi protocol. And again, we're always evolving and growing and ideating and building on top of what we've already built. When coming into different chains, we come from, different backgrounds. A lot of people will see something, it's always great to have open source code, but you don't want to just simply fork it, reskin it, and deploy it. We really wanted to see what PulseChain needed. So, we went to IRL events, fully docs, letting people know what were the issues, going to Vancouver, going to Cabo, going to Vegas, going to all these things. And one thing where we actually had a pivot was, like how we talked about, we still do sell the physical devices, the mini nodes, but we realized like a lot of people, they don't even want to hold that. They want, someone to do it for them. So, okay, well, if that's what you guys want, we will give it to you. So, we created a solution to where you can actually generate your validator keys, permissionless. You get your seed phrase. We host on your behalf, but you still have access to that validator. So doing that, also, doing an AI agent with that liquid agent, that's how you generate the validator keys. And we're going to be implementing a lot of other stuff with that, as well as launching our AI analytics for the ST Pulse, which is great. Definitely going to share my screen on that. But yeah, just going from ideation to vision, just seeing what people want and just keep growing and keep building on that, on top of that.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and showcase?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, guys. Let's see if I can present, share screen. I'll do entire screen. So let me know if you guys can see this. So again, this is Project Pi. If you go to our protocol, this is what you're seeing. It is liquid staking. Currently, we have about 3.9 billion Pulse locked up in our protocol. Again, very simple. These are analytics. Currently have about 175 Pi pools, and the average APR for our validators are 75.69%. We're kind of go over that a little bit later, as well as the NFTs. Again, why NFTs? We are a hybrid of an ERC 404, which is half ERC 20 and ERC 721. Earn and reward, again, it's a 2-tiered system. We actually cater to both users. I know there are different liquid staking protocols on Pulse, and I love all the all the stuff that's being built. For us, we're catering towards 2 people. We're catering towards the validators, which with the Pulse rewards is going to be, let's see if I get it right, 52.5% Pulse on the validators and 47.5% on the liquid staking side. So that's how the rewards are being distributed. And Project Pi as a company, we do not take any fees at all when it comes to Pulse. We believe in what we built. We believe what we've done. So, how it works is every 15 days, every 14, 15 days, they have the Pulse that's distributed. And that's what the yield is coming from for the liquid staking. Then every 28 days, the validators will also be getting our PPY, Project Pi yield token, and that's why the actually rewards are a little bit higher. We can actually take a look at that if we actually go to our app right here. And if we're going to go ahead and actually go to the protocol stats, you can simply just go over to the calculator. And as you know, you need about 32 million Pulse to become a solo validator, which this is about the current price. On our protocol, we actually cut that in half, where you only actually need 16 million Pulse. Now, remember when we touched on earlier, if you were an early staker, we actually incentivize people, hey, if you were the first 100 early stakers on our protocol, you only need 1/4 of the price, or 8 million Pulse, which is amazing. So you can kind of see where the yield is coming from. So if you actually adjust it, the collateral rate, which is going to be based off of the price of Pulse, is 25% all the way up to 150% collateralization. And you can still see, even at that, the amount that you would need to be, solo validator, about 100%, the price. But look at the yield. You're getting 91.74% more than what you would get as a solo validator, which is amazing. So let's kind of go through it. It's very simple, very easy, and very intuitive. So if right now, if you just have idle Pulse, the power of liquid staking is capital efficiency. That's what we're solving. So with a lot of, typical staking, you have to lock up your Pulse or lock up your Hex, which is great. But you can't touch it. It's just idle, but you're still gaining yield. What liquid staking is, you stake your Pulse and you get a derivative or a receipt token. Ours is called ST Pulse. And by doing that, you're actually getting yield that's being generated through our protocol, Pi Pools, which is via the validators. So you simply go to, app.projectpi.xyz. You click liquid stake. You can go ahead and connect your wallet. Use any wallet that you would like. Once you connect it, you simply just stake your Pulse. So as an example, I'll go ahead and stake 100,000 Pulse. I will go ahead and
it's 1 million.
1 million Pulse. Go ahead and simply stake that, confirm. And it's as simple as that. Now you're going to have to wait a little bit, but you're going to see this number actually go from 2.9 to 3.9. Boom, done. And you can see all the statistics right here. Would you like to touch on a lot of the stuff that we've done with the redemption fees and all that?
Yeah. When we first started, our redemption fees was set to about 1.25%. So whenever you redeem, a portion of that, a portion of it is actually, coming out of the ST Pulse in itself from when a person redeems, but some of that actually gets split up into 3 sections. So the team, we receive a certain percentage, and then a certain percentage is sent to NFT stakers, which we'll touch on that just a little bit. And then a small percentage actually is burned. Reason being is we understand, again, we wanted to build something that would contribute to PulseChain. So whenever you are, or whenever people are redeeming, ST Pulse has a mechanism where it definitely burns the ST Pulse, which if it has the strength of Pulse plus the validation, or like the Pulse rewards coming in from validation, that means that anytime that ST Pulse is burned away from the circulation, the actual Pulse itself would be burned away as well. So that should help to contribute by lowering the amount of Pulse in circulation. So, we wanted to add in a few features here and there to actually help to contribute to the chain in itself. One of the things that we have here also is the View My ST Pulse report. When you do it, basically what's going on is we wanted to add in a little bit of some AI into the system. Reason being is we've already basically showcased like our liquid agent in Vegas, and which was, it's an AI agent in itself, but this is a little different. It's not necessarily an agent. We wanted to build something that would be almost like the prelude to a tax reporting system. Reason being is we understand that as we mature and we scale and grow, not just Project Pi, but just like the chain in itself, it's going to be important for us as far as like DeFi companies to be able to provide these toolings for, for the individuals, for when they can actually go to do their taxes or anything like that. It makes it easier on them. So I had just fixed it up, but let me see if this goes through. You know how tech works when it comes to demos. So I think it actually, I did process it. I wonder if it actually popped up on here. Let me see. Might have to refresh your page actually and then try again. So try to refresh it and then try again and then click it. There we go. And then sign and confirm. And then let it sit and wait. Should be able to process it. And essentially what happens is once everything goes through, payments verified, it analyzes the ST Pulse that's being bought and all of the things that you've, all the ST Pulse inflows and outflows that you've bought in the last, however many times you bought it. So it calculates each month. Okay, see, it's always the demos. Let me try it again. Let me refresh it again. I really want people to see this. So let me try it again. Because I think it's very important, if you're building a DeFi system, and you have tokens, it definitely would help your users to be able to understand basically what's going on as far as, what you're buying, how much is coming into your system, and everything. I think I got to refresh it again. Oops. Here, try refresh it again. I don't know how to use your computer. But essentially it also, it does a breakdown of the monthly inflows and outflows, identification of staking patterns or anomalies, and personalized wallet specific insights. Again, I think something like this is super important for people to have. And yeah, I mean, you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, and again, this is what SC Pulse is out. Again, this is the liquid staking token that we have created for the actual layer 1, which is Pulse, and the yields being generated from the validators. Our token PPY is out, but it's not, live to trade yet. But when that is live, we would definitely have AI insights for that as well too. And I could definitely see in the future, just seeing how things goes, depending if we want to do some type of API or some type of SDK or webhook, we can actually have it to where if you have your own token, whether that's, any really layer 1 token that's Pulse, PulseX, Hex, Inc., or someone else who has their own token, they'll be able to use this as well to see the inflows and outflows. So I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, it looks like we're having some issues. That is fine. We could definitely try to do it. But
what I did was I actually already had did it. I sent you the report in Telegram, so we can go to it.
The demagogues are not always kind. May they be with you.
I know, right? So
it's always, you did whole screen, right? Okay, so do a whole screen for me. Okay, cool. And so if you can see this, essentially this is the breakdown. We made it to where you can also download it as a PDF. So it just basically just shows all of the inflows and outflows. That's what's happened as a generalized report. And then AI summarizes everything of what has happened in your wallet when it comes to ST Pulse. Again, this is like the prelude to I would say like at least a nice tax reporting system for at least our token. We want to do this not just for ST Pulse, but for our other token PPY. Again, reason being, can't stress it enough. As crypto and blockchain mature, we believe that we would be responsible as far as a company in itself to be able to provide these toolings for individuals so that they can actually see what's going on and how they can actually go to somewhere like a Coinly or something like that to be able to show like, oh yeah, this is how much I've bought, here's how much I've sold, here's the net, and go from there. So that's essentially the reporting. If you want to go to the documentation, you want to go to the video of the how to create a Pi pool.
Yep. So we can do that again, for demo purposes, but this is kind of just showing the full flow of you going through our entire protocol. You would simply go to our liquid agent. That'll be app.liquidagent.ai. You can find that in our data page. You would simply connect your wallet, and then you would go ahead and select your chain, which is PulseChain. Again, it is a multi-chain agent. You will then generate your validator keys. And it will do that. It'll prepare your keys. And then like normal, if you have created a validator through that process, you need to put in a password. So for demo purposes, I put in password and boom, there are your keys. These are your keys, not your coins. So we give you these keys. We do not store this information. You have full control of your keys. Again, if you're not technical enough, we will just simply host on your behalf. But again, you can bring your own validator. You can generate the keys, take these keys and put it on your own, your own validator or your own cloud and do it yourself. But if you want to go through the hassle, you can simply come to us and do that. You would then come to our app. You do create a pie pool. You do select the keys that you just downloaded. You're going to go ahead and actually, double click it because it is in a zip file. Once you do that, you will simply click upload. Again, this is the same one-on-one you would do on the official PulseChain website. You would generate your deposit file. And again, our system is a little bit different. Now you have to do the duration of how long you want to stake. You would have to create a node ID, and this node ID is actually proprietary to our system to track all the nodes to make sure that the rewards are being distributed every so often like we have had. Once that is generated, let's say on the solo validating side, you would then deposit your 32 million Pulse on weight. On our side, since it is a two-tier token, you would then actually deposit your collateralization of your PPY 25 to 150%. Then you would deposit your Pulse. This wallet was lucky enough to actually have one of the first 100 early stakers. So this would be 8 million Pulse. And then you're up and running. It's that simple. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your laptop. You can do it wherever. Again, our whole ethos of when creating Project Pi is to help decentralize as many protocols as a whole. Again, this is just showing the collateralization. Show this in the demo, and we already showed this already, but we're going to go ahead and let it go through. And again, bring your own node. We'll do it for you. Go to any VPS. We just want to make it super easy, super simple for people. You simply deposit your 8 million Pulse. Again, for most people, be 16. But if you were gracious enough to be the first 100 early staker, you get in at 1/4 the price, guys. Remember, when we were in Vegas last year, one validator was $8,000, right? So imagine, with that 32 million, half that would be 4,000. Most people don't have that kind of money. So, going like that, that'll be great.
I was going to go to one of the last things is just like here actually is our agent. Basically, we've been constantly working on this to change it, and make it a little bit more prettier. Since we
love AI stuff.
We showcased it at Vegas and whatnot. We wanted to make it a little bit more, pretty and whatnot. So we added like the light and dark mode.
Eyes.
I like light mode, so I always just do it. But right now you have the
light mode. Hey, we're together. I'm telling you, turn on dark mode. Turn on dark mode. I'm like, no, I like clean. I like the white space. I like clean. It's something about that I think different people have affinity for. I'm with you, man.
So we wanted to make it to where, and this is one of the things too. We believe like how we've built ours with as far as Liquid Agent is it simply just connects to your wallet. We have been kind of experimenting with like AI agents being able to, do things on your behalf. But again, you're giving up your private key and that's dangerous. So we haven't gone that route just yet, but we have some ideas. Don't want to give out too much of the alpha just yet, but we have some ideas. But for now, I think this is a good way to, get things done. So I have the ability to actually go through the list based off the chain. So right now, PulseChain has the most because, of course, that's what we're building on. But if I were to switch over, let's say if I switch the blockchain to Base, then once I switch, just for now, I'm gonna switch back. But so for Base, it's only like 5 or 6 different things. If I were to, I'll switch back to now, and then if I wanted to, I actually haven't used this in a little minute, but if I wanted to deposit, then I can say deposit Pulse, and then say how much Pulse would you like to deposit. I'll just say that 100,000, not 1 million, and then boom. So now I can liquid stake with my.
That's pretty cool.
What you call it? So transaction is sent, and from there, just waiting on a confirmation. Once confirmation has happened, we would basically see that the Pulse in itself would be liquid staked. I mean, the cool thing too is I don't know if your voice thing works, but I can always try it out on your system.
It should work.
Let's see. Allow a visiting site, right?
Okay, that's fine.
Check balance.
Oh, I'm so excited for all this AI stuff coming up, especially agents. So you guys are really piquing my interest on this. Oh, that's cool.
So,
Sir.
you know, and then one other cool thing that I like doing too is just for testing is I can do stuff like type for me because you're faster with your computer. Say switch to base, comma, check balance, comma, then switch to PulseChain, then check balance. Put then check balance or then there too. I don't think you have to, but just be pedantic. Yeah, so basically just still work in progress with this, but we're seeing again, I mean, we're super excited as much as you are. We're just seeing the potential as far as how AI can be incorporated, not just in a DeFi aspect, but even just in a regular day-to-day system when it comes to blockchain and AI. So we wanted to definitely participate in it in any way we could.